Welcome back to Views with Hughes and Jennifer News. This is Jerome Hughes, and guess what? The Acolyte is bad. The Acolyte is trash. The Acolyte is woke. The Acolyte is dead. The Acolyte is all lies, and the Acolyte is garbage. So, I'm going to go ahead and get right into the story. So, this is like a lot of stuff to unpack here right now. So, for starters, like you can see here from on the Rap Pro, where it talks about how Star Wars has an older, more male skewing audience than Marvel charts. Okay, so in other words, they're pulling what Sony did with Madam Web, organizing it, and they're putting it out there to the wrong audience. Now, what do I mean by that? Take a look at this chart right here. You're going to see more people who are or were a part of the Star Wars fandom are mostly older men. Okay. And then right around here, down here, this is where like mostly those who are younger and stuff, you like the newer Marvel content and stuff. And then the younger right here, people younger and stuff also like the newer Star Wars stuff as well. And so far, these over here are the things that's done well. Over here, further off, not so well. But the fact of the matter is, like, more people are more attracted to the things or the different IPs and stuff that's been actually, been popular with those who are old as well as those who are younger but are apolitical. Okay. But the fact of the matter is, this basically the Star Wars franchise is dead. Okay, if you ask me. And honestly, that should come to no surprise. So basically, Star Wars and Marvel have mostly been popular with the older guys, even though there are female fans, most of the viewers and most of the active fans are men. Now, knowing this is important for deciding how to develop and market these franchises. Now, as y'all remember, Kathleen Kennedy last year, it was last year that she decided to go ahead and try to market the Star Wars franchise with half men and half women, okay? But more focus on women. But when Bob Iger from Disney bought Star Wars and Marvel, he had a plan, which is to get more women interested in these stories. So that way, Disney can have a better ESG and DEI scores. So Bob Iger from Disney tried to do this by adding more female characters and creating storylines focused on women. For example, Disney made movies and shows with the strong female leads like Rey in the new Star Wars trilogy, or the Disney sequels, that is, of Star Wars, and Captain Marvel in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now, they also introduced new female heroes in their TV shows like the characters She-Hulk as well as Echo. But this move hasn't really gone over well with longtime fans. And you know what? These longtime Star Wars fans who are used to the original style and characters, they've basically checked out. Many of these fans who have grown up with the classic Star Wars and Marvel stories felt that the new direction didn't match what they loved about these franchises. Bob Iger from Disney felt that the new characters and storylines were being forced into an existing universe, but at the same time, it didn't fit naturally. Okay, and because of this, there's been a lot of pushback. Fans have been taken to social media, different forums and websites, and even YouTube to express their dissatisfaction over the Acolyte. A lot more lately, people have expressed their anger with the Acolyte. And ever since the Star Wars Acolyte trailer dropped, people saw it and wondered, why is the Star Wars Acolyte trailer bad? Now, some felt that the focus on diversity was more about making a political statement than telling good stories. And this backlash against the Acolyte has led to a drop in interest and engagement for the core audience, and that's been who've been loyal for years, and that's no surprise. And then again, there's also many longtime fans who've become less enthusiastic about the new releases like the Acolyte, and some have even stopped following the franchises altogether. And this is why the Acolyte is bad, the Acolyte is trash, the Acolyte is woke, the Acolyte is dead, the Acolyte is all lies, and the Acolyte is garbage. Now, if you think that's interesting, then get ready, because tonight the new third episode of the Acolyte or episode 3 is dropping, and this one is supposed to be a big game changer, but in a negative way. Now, the Acolyte episode 3 is going to be one of those episodes that really splits the fan base even more. And according to a review from film threat and stuff is not going to get any better. And this review came out a few days ago where you're going to see this new divine female force character in the Acolyte. Now I can already tell that this is going to be a hot topic with the fans who are already pretty divided. You know, not those who have left the franchise altogether, but those who are still watching, still taking interest, and still hoping for a change. But people have been talking about how the Acolyte and the Acolyte's mystery character is getting the Star Wars action figure already. And it's notable because this character is using they, them pronouns. And this just isn't any figure. It's a Black Series figure. And these figures usually cost around $20. But thanks to inflation, they're probably closer to $30 now. Now, toy prices have really gone up lately, so you're paying a premium for these collectibles. And Lucasfilm and the Acolyte are banking on this to be a huge success by having the price for it that high, just to find out that the Acolyte is dead. And this is why the Acolyte is bad, the Acolyte is trash, the Acolyte is woke, the Acolyte is dead, the Acolyte is all lies, and the Acolyte is garbage. Okay? But on top of that, we got some interesting news today about Disney's Acolyte series, where Disney is boasting that it's making huge waves with the highest ratings of 2024. And I mentioned that in previous videos, but here's what they're not telling you. The Acolyte numbers are barely touching what Ahsoka got, and Ahsoka numbers were already on the low side. Now, Ahsoka had about 14 million views, while the Acolyte pulled in around 11 million in a 5-day span. And keep in mind, a view can be a few minutes of watching, okay? And Disney and Lucasfilm didn't make that clear, okay? Now, most people will see the headline saying like this is the biggest premiere of 2024 in any Variety or even Deadline article, and assume it's a massive hit when it's really not. And it's also all about the spin with Disney and Lucasfilm. And Disney and Lucasfilm seem more concerned with creating a buzz for the Acolyte than just simply delivering a quality product. You know, they just probably think that they can release anything and people will just flock to it. But that's not the case. You see, I'm not going to watch the series, I'm going to admit that, but I'm really looking forward to seeing just how the Acolyte is going to sink. Now, here's my prediction, and it's just a guess so far, you know, but I actually think that the Acolyte is just going to follow the same path as Rings of Power, where you're going to see a lot of people watching it the first 2 episodes and then not finishing the rest of the season for the Acolyte. Now, I bet at least over half of them will drop off. And for Rings of Power, only about 37% of people who started off watching it actually finished it. That's pretty embarrassing. And honestly, I'm excited for the new season of Rings of Power just to see it fail again. And it's one of the most expensive TV shows ever made, and it's flopping. You know, critics are saying that The Acolyte is one of the most entertainment shows of all time with a 91% or 92% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. But in reality, that's just a big joke. And Disney deserves all the criticism that they're getting for The Acolyte. And this is why The Acolyte is bad, The Acolyte is trash, The Acolyte is woke, The Acolyte is dead, The Acolyte is all lies, and The Acolyte is garbage. At the same time, I just don't understand why Disney keep making these choices, you know, especially when the sources like The Wrap confirm that the Star Wars has an older and more male skewing audience, okay, that doesn't want anything to do with what the new direction that they're taking with Star Wars as well as Marvel. And Disney is also losing their core audience with this strange, desperate attempt to turn Star Wars into a brand that appeals more to girls, and like I said before, simply not working at all. And they had a big reveal for Star Wars Outlaws yesterday, promoting it as a Han Solo simulator we've all been, like a lot of people been waiting for. He also stated that, you know, the game's going to be in scoundrel mode and everything, but the whole article and talked about is that how great it would be for a true Han Solo open world game. Now, like I said, I'm really looking forward to seeing that what happens with the Acolyte episode 3 tonight. Now, I think Star Wars fans are going to be disappointed again. Storylines and characters from the Acolyte just don't have the same magic as the original trilogy. And I just don't understand how anyone can still have hope for this Star Wars franchise under Kathleen Kennedy as well as Bob Iger. And so many people have just basically given up and don't care anymore. They've switched from being excited to being apathetic. It's sad to see, but guess what? That's just the reality right there. Okay? So people who don't watch the Acolyte wonder, is the Acolyte that bad, or maybe the Acolyte is bad, and maybe the Acolyte is trash. Maybe the Acolyte is woke. Maybe the Acolyte is dead. The Acolyte is all lies, and it's not really George Lucas Star Wars. The Acolyte is also garbage. And then when details of the Acolyte is put out there by people on social media and YouTube, guess what? They realize that the Acolyte is bad. The Acolyte is trash. The Acolyte is woke. The Acolyte is dead. The Acolyte is all lies. And the Acolyte is garbage. So, let me know your thoughts about this in the comments below. Also, be sure to include any additional thoughts you might have in this particular video. If you enjoyed what I shared in this video, go ahead, smash the like button, share far wide across social media. And if you haven't done so already, and you enjoyed all the content that I put out there, go ahead, subscribe to the channel, click bell notifications, so that way you'll be notified of future uploads and updates. Till then, peace.